Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the modern Green Bay and Western in N scale. My name is Gabe, and here we have a westbound train about to depart from Black Creek. Mixed freights on the main line headed west. So today, not much has happened on the layout itself, but I just wanted to talk about the premise of the modern Green Bay and Western. I wanted to talk about proto-freelancing, my inspiration, and then we'll talk about the history of the Green Bay and Western since 1993, which is where the real history leaves off and my history begins. So we'll watch the train depart west and then we'll get into it. So my last layout that I had was a shelf layout in an apartment, and you're seeing the models that I used for that. It was a freelanced short line railroad based in Indiana. It was called the Michigan-Indiana Northern Railroad. Went through a bunch of different iterations. There are a bunch of different uh, short lines under this short line conglomerate. That's why you see the Indiana Northern, the Hoosier Southern stuff there. What I like about freelancing is it gives me a lot of freedom. It lets me do my own thing, and it lets me copy from a lot of different railroads, which is essentially what I did with my Minrail. But now I've kind of wanted to get into what I consider proto-freelancing. We're going to take the Green Bay and Western and model it as if it's a modern regional railroad. So some of the inspirations for this is obviously the Canadian National. The Canadian National was the first Class 1 railroad that I have really had the opportunity to rail fan on. That might horrify some people that live in the state of Wisconsin now that I'm a big fan of the CN, but I'm young. It's the first big railroad I've ever gotten a rail fan on. So that's a big inspiration. Other inspirations are going to be modern regionals like the Iowa Interstate, the Florida East Coast. And then another thing I'd like to go back to the CN is the influences of the CN will be quite obvious. Train numbers, operations, and all that fun stuff. So the nice thing is I get to see it in real life very often. I live and I work where I see the CN almost every single day. It's something that I can see and model and have something to go off of. But with modeling the Green Bay and Western, I get to have a realistic route and locations. Uh, Obviously, the Green Bay and Western truly ran through the cities that I'm modeling and through many more. Um, and then other things are, I've thought about modeling the CN, making it a CN layout. There's not a lot of CN trains always available in N scale. When I see freight cars that are CN related, or even modern freight cars in general, I pick them up as soon as I can. Uh, it's hard to find an SD70M-2. I know they look a lot like SD70 ACEs, but those are just things that are hard to find, especially in N scale. So that's what I'm kind of stuck with. But yeah, so what I like about it is I have a prototype essentially, and I also get to do my own thing. I get to decide to use the trains that I think are important, necessary for my line, and I get to kind of make my own history and run the kinds of trains I want to run. So this is a map of the Green Bay and Western as it stands today. As you can see, it goes from east Winona, all the way to Kewaunee on Lake Michigan still. That's the big black line through the middle there with a branch to Stevens Point, branch to Byron. Also, you'll see the blue is the Canadian National, and then you'll also see that the red there is the Fox Valley and Lake Superior Railroad, a new short line that I've included into my history and my layout because I'm a big fan of it. It's a nearby line that I get to see a lot of. So we'll talk about the history now. As that plaque says, railroad ended in 1993. So we'll go from there. In 1993, ITEL Corp wanted to sell the GB&W and Kewanee, Green Bay, and Western. Wisconsin Central's like, cool, we'd love to have a piece of this railroad, but we don't want all of it. We really just want the Whitehall sub. That New London sub, I'm sorry, it's redundant. Wisconsin Central does not want it, does not need it. Well, Burlington Northern doesn't like this because they have an intermodal facility in. However, in 2001, the Canadian National bought the Wisconsin Central, and the Green Bay and Western started getting concerned that they were going to get pushed out and essentially overrun by the CN. Also, Burlington Northern Santa Fe was concerned that the CN would essentially control all of the Northwoods in Wisconsin and wanted a piece of it. So between the two railroads, they started investing more into the track and signaling in an effort to become a bridge route. It would allow the BNSF to take traffic east over the GB&W to the CN in Green Bay. From 2001 to 2010, sadly, RIP, the Elkos were retired, and traffic improvements started. BNSF started running intermodal trains. Frac sand started picking up on the Whitehall sub, and the GB&W started hauling to the CN, the BNSF, and the Union Pacific, all interchange partners. Again, I talked about that bridge traffic from the BNSF to CN. What I was thinking there is a lot of West Coast traffic coming from the shipping ports to East Coast Canada. That's what I was thinking would be the best for why that is. Also, WRX cars, the Western Refrigerator line, they're renting those out. And then also the Fox River Valley Ethanol Corporation acquires the elevator in Norwood Yard, meaning that occasional unit trains run there. Update in power was completed also from 2001 to 2010, like I mentioned. GP40s and 38s and SD40s. However, around 2010, because of the sand mines, the railroad really got power hungry and started investing into SD70 ACEs in 2015, along with Dash 9s, second-hand bought Dash 9s. And then in 2018, they bought ES44 ACEs. 2014, the railroad became a regional thanks to the amount of money they have made. Distance, I'll never be able to quite get on the GB&W to make a regional, but when it comes to money they've made profit-wise, they've become a regional. And in 2022, the Foxy has started interchanging with the Green Bay and Western in New London, which will be featured on my layout. So yeah, that's kind of the history, the idea behind the modern Green Bay and Western. I'm sure there's some Green Bay and Western history buff who'd say, wow, that makes 0 sense, something like that. And you want to, if it does, let me know. I only know so much about the Green Bay and Western. I've only recently became a fan of it. So if you have an opinion, an idea on it, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate it. It might change. That's part of the fun. You know, things will always change on a layout. Something won't work out, or I'll be like, I don't like this idea anymore, and that's just what it is. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I have some ideas for other videos other than just things about my layout. I've been thinking about maybe doing some long-form railfan videos. I'm sure some of you have seen the shorts I've done. Also thought about doing maybe some shorter long-form videos, maybe like in the area of like 3-4 minutes, kind of editorializing some things that I see in the hobby, and yeah, just give my opinion on it. We'll see. If you guys are interested in any of that, let me know. So again, thanks, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, and have a great day.